Good afternoon and welcome to the Pittsburgh Land Bank Board of Directors meeting of Friday, October 11th. And our first order of business, we ask that and this takes, if Nathan would please call the roll.
Reverend Burgess?
Here.
Jamil Bey?
Here.
Mr. Lager?
Here.
Diamante Walker? Here. Senator Fontana? Here. Councilwoman Cale Smith? Councilman Lavelle? Here. And Wanda Wilson?
And Steve Mazza is not.
And Steve Mazza has confirmed that he will not be here today.
All right, thank you very much. We have a quorum. The first order of business then is public comment. Members of the public who want to address this land bank board will be given 3 minutes. You can come forward if there's anyone to speak. Is there anyone who wants to speak? Mr. Lord? No? Not today. All right. Seeing no public people to comment, we'll go into the agenda. The first order of business is the approval of September's minutes. It was emailed to you. I need a motion
So moved.
Second. Any conversation? No conversation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. It goes into my report. We had a good time at the Reclaiming Vacant Properties Conference, and got some important business conducted there as always. I want to make a public announcement that immediately following this public meeting, there will be an executive session concerning personnel. There will be an executive session involving personnel. All right? And so then we have the director's update, which is you, Mr. Clark.
I'll be taking care of this today. Just wanted to let the board know that the URA's RFP for land care services is going out this afternoon. There is an agreement in place between the URA and the land bank for land bank properties to be included in that land care RFP and in maintenance services. This is a program that focuses on workforce development and matching bundles of property with local community-based land care providers. Again, that's going out today, and as the PLB acquires property throughout the year, there will be spaces to add PLB properties throughout the year. We're hoping to do 2-year contracts. Also wanted, related to that, to let the board know that besides just URA and land bank properties, there are city properties included. So this is truly a citywide RFP this year. So if you know of any land care providers in districts, especially the West End or some newer bundles this year, please make sure that they're pointed to the URA's website for that RFP.
Any other conversation about that? Thank you very much. That takes us to the financial report. Mr. Lager.
We had not seen the financial statements until just about 5 minutes ago. So Nathan has volunteered to go through them rather quickly, and then I'll make a comment or two.
Sure, I will run through them. The first page you have is budget versus actual for 2019. In terms of expenditures, in terms of revenue, had budgeted for $1,190,000 and have received $560,000 to date. Expenditures had budgeted for $1,159,600 and have spent $178,170 to date. Looking at the page entitled PLB expenditures year to date as of October 1st, 2019. Wanted to bring the board's attention to items below $5,000 that the administrator has approved. 2 items totaling $574.31. And then also bring the board's attention to an expenditure that you will need to approve at today's meeting. For $14,593.15, which is the administrator's fee for October, I believe, for the third quarter of 2019. I apologize if there's more information that's usually covered when we go over these.
No, that's
Turn to
just
Mr.
fine.
Lager.
Thank
Okay.
you. The expenditures that we're doing this month are a little higher than they are sometimes, but we're not doing multiple months at the same time this time, so they're actually okay. I am a little concerned about next year's budget with lack of city funding. And that's something we need to talk about, maybe just you and I sometime, about where we're going with that and how much money we have.
Yes, the city, I actually met with the mayor today, and the city is still committed to the land bank, maybe even more so. And so we are going to have some discussion over the next month or so exactly how the land bank's finances will be derived. And the administration has some ideas, I have some ideas, and so we are, because I'm also the finance chair of council, it gives me that opportunity to look at all of the city's resources and to figure out the best way to fund it. And I will say this publicly, it is our desire over the next 12 months that we will then start gathering multiple parcels of land in an expedited way over the next few months, over the next year. So you're going to see this year just a flurry of activity from the land bank.
I do realize that council's in the middle of its budget procedure, and so that's the time to talk about these things.
That would be correct.
And thank you very much for doing that.
So do you want to take the first two and then do the budget separate? The 2020 budget? It's on
Yeah, let's
here.
take the first two together
so-
because that's expenditures
All right,
and
so
and
we have
approval of the report.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the financial review and to approve the September expenditures. I need such a motion. So moved. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. That takes us to 2020 budget.
2020 budget, is that included in this packet since I have not seen it yet?
It is not included, no.
All right,
Okay.
so then we will not go over the 2020 budget
I
until
think
next.
Hold that until
To
next
next
month.
meeting. We'll go over the 2020 budget next meeting. It's actually better because by that time, we'll have a better sense of what the city's contribution was going to be. Inventory report.
Real quick, will we be able to have that emailed ahead of time? So that-
I hope so.
We can do that.
Yes, so we kind of
I sure
know,
would like it.
yes, the answer is yes. The question is really not what the budget's going to be. The question is how we're going to fill it, right? So we can get you the budget fairly quickly in terms of what we think it should be. The question is going to be, it's going to be at the 500 grand mark. We know that already. It's going to be that amount. It's just a question of how we're going to raise it. It's really the income side that's the issue, not really the expense side. We know what the expense side's going to be. We're just not sure what the income side's going to be. Does that sound right, Mr. Lager? Am I saying that
It
right?
sounds right, and also I just want to remind everybody that no land bank makes themselves whole purely on land sales. They all need money from someplace else.
Right. And that we have to decide, we have to talk about where our guaranteed funding stream is. I think there are a couple of, I won't go through the alternatives right yet, but there are a couple of places in our city and URA budget combined that there's a couple places that could be served as a guaranteed funding stream for the land bank, not just for this year, but the next 4 or 5 years. And I think we should avail ourselves of those dollars. Okay, that takes us to inventory report. Irene?
Yeah, just following on the last report at the last meeting regarding our first acquisition and the need to clear title on that. That quiet title action is finalized. The complaint has been reviewed, and I will be working quickly to get those lovely checks cut for the filing fees and service of process and working that. So we are about to file our first quiet title action.
Thank you very much. Any conversation? There's no need for a motion. That takes us to the legislative and regulatory updates. Mr. Clark and Mr. Fontana, either one of you have legislative updates.
I can only say that we're back in another week to really get in. I know there's some urban and housing committee meetings scheduled for different things that I brought up in the past, and just to have hearings and consider in committee. So after that happens, I'll probably next month have more of a report.
Yeah, we are not aware of any legislative updates at the city level at this time.
Right, there's no new business. I'll entertain did I miss something?
Number 8.
I thought you did that to
Well, she's not here.
give Wanda a chance to come.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't here.
We're here to give a brief update. I apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see her. So I
I
said,
should have
oh.
let you know that, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the Property Reserve Committee, thank you. You're doing a good job of keeping me on track. Mr. Clark?
So a brief update, the committee has been meeting. The next meeting is scheduled for early November. There is a rough draft of recommendations related to updating the property reserve. And after the November meeting, they expect that those to be cleaned up. The committee has been invited to present to the vacant property working group, and at the same time, they will be sharing the recommendations prior to the November meeting with this board.
Any other conversation? Any questions for Mr. Clark? If no other questions, is there any new business? Seeing no new business, I will again publicly say we will adjourn this meeting and move into executive session in the large conference room in council chambers. Is there such a motion to adjourn the meeting? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. Ayes have it, we are adjourned. If you would please.